My name is Tim Dr. Hope Anders, and I write children's books under the pseudonym Dr. Hope, JAPD. The JAPD stands for Just a Pretend Doctor. I'm also a part-time poker professional. I'm talking to you today because I need your help to right a wrong. Here's a quick history. I have been a loyal and well-liked customer of Ocean's 11 Casino in Oceanside, California, since it opened in 1997. I would average going there about 10 times a month over the last 15 years. I don't use harsh language and I never get upset at the table. Basically, I'm a pretty happy guy. In the past 2 years, 2 of the minority owners that had run the place retired. The trouble started when the management of the casino fell into the hands of Mark Collegian, the son of the second largest interest holder in Ocean's 11. Soon after he took the helm, I noticed that the once happy, smiling faces of the employees were replaced by frowns. I'd known many of these employees for years, so I asked what was wrong. I was told that they could lose their jobs just for talking to me about what was going on. Really? That seemed to me to be a little harsh. A couple of months ago, I went to the casino, and much to my surprise, all of the elderly receptionists who had been working there for over 13 years were gone. A week later, they were replaced with younger people doing the exact same job. I asked some of the other employees, what was going on? In confidence, they told me of the reign of terror that was happening. Everyone was in fear of losing their jobs. They showed me bunches of memos where they were threatened to obey ridiculous rules or they would be terminated for the first offense. Good people who I had known for years either were fired or put into a hostile working environment, and then they quit. I felt bad, but what could I do? I was just a customer. What would you do? This really was not my problem. I was just a customer, but I felt I could not stand by and watch as injustice after injustice was levied onto the defenseless employees. I had to do something. So I wrote a letter to the owner who held the majority interest in the club, telling him what was going on under Mark's rule at the casino. I copied all of the other owners in the hope that this would improve the conditions for the employees. That was it. I had done my job to help the employees. I was done, or so I thought. But no. A couple of weeks ago, a manager who worked directly under Mark Collegian asked me to come into his office. So I did. He had a copy of my letter and copies of the memos that Mark had sent out. He asked if I'd seen the memos. I told him that I had. He asked me who showed them to me. In fear that Mark would fire the employees, and there was more than one, that had given me copies of the memos, I told him that I wouldn't tell him who gave them to me. These are hard-working employees. They have families to feed and take care of. There's no way in the world that I was going to put them in jeopardy of losing their jobs. So I did not divulge their names. This was not an unfounded fear. Have a look at this memo on the screen. The next day, the manager called me and told me that I was no longer welcome at Ocean's 11. I asked why. He said it was upper management's decision. Wow, I wrote a letter and got banned. And I have not been back to that casino since. I felt bad that I had been banned. After all, it was my second home. But I felt even worse for the employees who could not voice their own opinion without fear of being fired. But what could I do? I was just now an ex-customer. But I felt I had to do something for these oppressed people, so I built a website at oceans11.info where they could read the letter that I had written and anonymously post their views and opinions without fear of reprisal. I told my employee friends to tell their friends, and soon the website was full of employees anonymously exercising their right to free speech. What a great tool. Now all the owners could come and hear directly from customers and employees and see exactly what was going on. This clearly would help the employees be treated better, create a better customer experience, and help the company's bottom line. That was it. I had done my part to help the employees. I was done, or so I thought, but no. Within a couple of weeks, I get a letter from Mark's attorney demanding that I take down the site within 72 hours, alleging that it was slanderous. I still felt that the employees had a right to free speech and they should be able to speak their minds without fear of retaliation. After all, I'm an American that believes in the First Amendment to our Constitution, the right to free speech. So I left the site up. That was it. I had done my part to help the employees. I was done. Or so I thought, but no. In what appears to be motivated by retaliation for me sticking up for the employees, Mark Collegian then got a temporary restraining order against me, swearing under oath that I posed a threat to him, his wife, and his children. I found it particularly insulting that he said I posed a threat to his children. I have a disdain for violence of any type, especially against children. I have been a supporter and a member of Child Help, an organization that fights child abuse, for over 18 years. As a matter of fact, in 2005, I received the For the Love of a Child Award from Child Help for my work in helping them fight child abuse. His unsupported and untrue claim that I posed a threat to his children I found to be extremely insulting. But that's Mark. I had to spend a week of my time preparing the paperwork for the hearing. At the hearing, Mark's attorney had me on the witness stand for well over half an hour. He asked me to identify the employees who had given me the memos. I said I would not. He asked the judge to instruct me, the witness, to answer the question. The judge said that he would not. The judge dismissed the civil harassment lawsuit against me with prejudice. That means Mark can't refile against me. That was it. I had done my part to help the employees. I was done, or so I thought. But no. Mark Collegian's same attorneys are now suing me for slander, saying that I must take down the website. Oh, joy. I have a problem. Because of the economy and the lack of funds to promote my books, my income from my books is currently down 97% from 3 years ago. Fortunately, I still have my income from poker. I am covering my expenses, but I have no extra money to finance a lawsuit. Based on my conversations with employees, it is my opinion Mark Collegian treats the employees badly. Employees and former employees have told me that he yells at them, that he calls them names. I've been told that he has forced them to work off the clock, and the employees have done so out of fear of losing their jobs. He wins through intimidation. And this over 90 pages of legal stuff that he has caused me to receive is extremely intimidating. He reminds me of the schoolyard bully that would steal your lunch money and then threaten to beat you up if you told anyone. I got into this situation because I wanted to help the employees in their workplace. Now I'm fighting for their right to free speech under the First Amendment of our Constitution. I still believe I can help them. I still believe in their right to free speech. I now need to find and pay for a lawyer. If you've ever been mistreated by your boss or intimidated to keep you from doing the right thing, now's your chance to say, I'm not going to take it anymore. If you've ever had someone try to take away your right to free speech, now is your chance to help me help these employees maintain their right to free speech. I now have to deal with Mark's lawyers. I don't have the money to do that. But if you can spare a couple of bucks, Please donate. On behalf of the present and past employees of Ocean's 11, I thank you. And I especially thank you for protecting all Americans' right to free speech. Thank you so much.